Hey everyone, today we're heading underground, way underground, to explore Beckley Exhibition Coal Mine in West Virginia. We're hopping on this little train that takes you straight into the mine.
Where are you guys from?
Connecticut.
Okay.
Our guide, a real retired miner. These guys have stories that make your jaw drop.
You're here with us. I always like to say thanks to any veterans that we have. We appreciate your service. Thanks to any first responders. We need you.
It's gonna get dark, dusty, and very cool. So let's go.
Over 100 years ago, the Phillips brothers came here to mine coal, and they mined for about 20 years, from around 1890 till about 1910 or so. All right, questions?
And they support the original supported timbers?
Probably not. We replace them over time as we need to. So a lot of these are replacement. Now, so you can tell that one, it's still real light colored. That was fairly old, but it's not. It's been replaced probably 10, 15 years ago. But that's fairly new timber right there. Yes. Deal with a very dangerous gas that seeps right out of the coal as you're mining. We don't have that gas in here because we're not an active coal mine. And well, actually they had to deal with two atmospheric conditions. One, that gas, a flammable gas, and the other, the absence of oxygen. So the flammable gas was lighter than the other gases, and it traveled to where? Up to the ceiling, the top. And they had a name for that. Anybody know what that gas was called? It's called what? Methane. Yes, good, thank you. And yes, it was flammable, and it could build up to explosive levels. So they did deal with methane. And they had those early means of lighting, and that was a candle or a teapot. The teapot has a lid on top of it. Flip it open, pour it full of kerosene. It has a wick right there. You light it. We get a flame about that tall, and it had a hook right there. Hang that right on your cap, and you could walk in there and mine yourself some coal if you wanted to.
How long would that last?
I really don't know. Nobody's ever told me. I'll guess and say about 4 hours, something like that. But it gets game. Miner would bring him into the coal. Now, our canary is a wooden canary. We're not going to bring a live canary in here and get fined for cruelty to animals. But Miner would bring his canary in and put it at floor level. And as he worked, and in those early years, to get the coal out of the sink, just use a pick and pick it out of the sink and load it into the car with a shovel. As he worked, he would look at that canary often. And as long as that canary was down in there jumping around, eating seed, that's great. But if he looked in and saw that the canary had gone down to the bottom and had its feet up in the air in a permanent napping position, what did it tell that coal miner? Get out of here. Yeah, get out of here. Get out, or you'll end up like that canary. Canary saved the lives of many, many coal miners. But going back to loading our car, that coal miner would load his car. You know, later on they started using explosives, black powder and then dynamite, and you would drill and shoot the coal. But when he got the car loaded with a ton of coal, then he would get one of his check tags. Here is a ring of check tags. And I'm looking at number 33 check tag. And he would hang a check tag on the corner of the car right there. When it got to the outside, a guy out there called the check weighman removed that tag and put it on a peg next to the coal miner's name out there. And that way everybody knew he had a ton of coal. Now, they typically worked a 6-day week. They worked a 10, 11, 12-hour shift, and he could load 8 to 10 tons of coal in a day. Those are the official numbers that the city gives me to pass on to you. But I've done a little research on my own that suggests that because of poor mining conditions in this area, it was more like 6 to 8 rather than 8 to 10. But you can take your pick. It's okay, 6 to 8 or 8 to 10 tons in a day. And they paid him a set amount. Every time that he got a car of coal to the outside, they paid him a certain amount for each ton. Now, this is a completely wild guess for you guys, so it's okay to be wrong, but how much do you think that they might have paid him back in 1910 for 1 ton of coal?
Not much.
Not much. How much is not much?
$1.
$1. $5.
25 cents.
25 cents.
I'll say 25 cents.
25 cents. Okay, you 25 centers, you're the closest. They paid him 20 cents
Wow.
every time that he got a ton of coal to the outside.
That's nothing.
Now, some people, yeah, they laugh when they hear it. The very definition of humor is absurdity to the point that it's laughable. And that's certainly absurd, wasn't it? Yes. And put it down tight, throw it out in the creek, and then in a minute or two, boom! Up out there it came, water went everywhere, and we had made a carbide bomb. Now that is what you used to be able to do. You can't do that anymore, okay? No. If you do
It's the
that
4th of
today, the FBI is liable to pull up in a driveway near you. So, yes, that's all gone. Now, here we've got this thing in 2 sections. Got the water up in the top. We've got the carbide in the bottom. That's what the light looks like. We're going to open up the valve and get a water drip going, and then we're going to put it on the, okay, that's already a good sign. We've got the witch's brew coming out of there. All we have to do is put it back together and then say the magic words. What's the magic words? Abracadabra. And then we got yes. All right. Now, yeah, that got my attention a little bit. It was burning back here in my glove, too. I learned the hard way.
That's why the Band-Aid?
I learned the hard way about that glove, yeah. Okay. This will burn for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. They made different size carbide lights. Some had a bigger canister and might burn a little longer. You know, we have seepage in here and we have condensation. We have the drips. Sometimes somebody gets parked under a drip. And I had a guy from Kentucky a couple of years ago. He said, "You parked me right under a drip." And I said, "I'm very sorry, but if I move, it's just going to put it on your neighbor. I'm sorry you got it, but you did." Yeah, he got the drip. All right, now, next thing we're going to do is get a coal drill and drill a hole. So, you put the tip of the drill into the coal seam, put that breastplate right up against your midsection, lean into that, push and turn and push and turn. In about 30 sweaty minutes, you'll have a hole drilled back in the coal, and then you're going to need a tamping rod and a Sears catalog. If you didn't have a Sears catalog, a Montgomery Ward would do. Tear out 2 or 3 pages, roll that up into a roll, a cylinder, crimp the bottom of it up. Now you got a little tube, a cup. Get your black powder, pour it full, and then crimp the top down. Now you got a package of black powder, make 2. Put 2 packs of black powder back in that hole you just drilled. Take your tamping rod and shove them all the way to the back. Then you're going to need dust or mud. There's plenty of it laying around. Fill the hole up all the way up. All the way up. Tamp it, tamp it, tamp it.
This isn't just any old mine, it's a time machine.